Life has a strange way of connecting us with people and circumstances we never expected. This is the story of Marcus, a renowned but distant lawyer, and Emma, a dedicated teacher who once suffered because of him. Fate brought them together in a life-threatening moment, setting the stage for a journey of healing, redemption, and rediscovering the true meaning of life. When Marcus unexpectedly suffered a heart attack on his way to pick up his daughter Lily from school, he never imagined that the one who would come to his aid was someone he had wronged in the past. Despite her scars from their shared history, Emma chose kindness over resentment. From that moment, the lives of Marcus, Emma, and Lily began to change forever. Join us as we delve into this inspiring story about forgiveness, the power of compassion, and how unexpected connections can transform our lives. Marcus hurried through the bustling streets of the city, his eyes constantly checking his watch. He was late again to pick up Lily, his 10-year-old daughter, from school. The long hours at the office had consumed too much of his time, and now guilt gnawed at him as he thought of his daughter waiting. As he pulled into the school parking lot, Marcus felt a sharp pain in his chest. He stopped, gripping the steering wheel tightly, but dismissed it as the result of a stressful day. Taking a moment to steady himself, he stepped out of the car and rushed toward the school entrance. However, after just a few steps, the pain intensified. It felt as if a heavy weight was crushing his chest, making him stumble. His breathing quickened, his vision blurred, and Marcus collapsed onto the pavement as the few bystanders around him watched in alarm. Emma, a teacher at the school, was just leaving after a long day when she witnessed the scene. She immediately recognized Marcus, the man who had once ruined her career with an unjust accusation. For a brief moment, she hesitated, but her compassion overpowered her resentment. She rushed to his side, checking his vital signs, and shouted, "Someone call an ambulance!" From the school entrance, Lily emerged and saw her father lying motionless on the ground. She screamed, "Dad!" and ran toward him. Emma quickly stopped Lily, gently holding her back. "It's going to be okay," she said, her voice calm and reassuring. "The ambulance is on its way." In that chaotic moment, Emma not only stepped in to help Marcus, but also comforted Lily, who was terrified by the scene unfolding before her. When the ambulance arrived, Marcus was placed on a stretcher, unconscious. Lily tried to follow, but the paramedics held her back. Terrified, she turned to Emma, tears streaming down her face. "Are you coming with us?" Lily asked, her voice trembling. Emma hesitated. This wasn't her responsibility, but seeing Lily so frightened, she couldn't bring herself to leave. "All right, I'll go with you," she said, trying to keep her tone steady. At the hospital, Emma sat with Lily in the waiting room. She tried to distract the little girl with stories and simple games, but Lily alternated between complete silence and bouts of sobbing. Emma's heart ached as she watched Lily struggle to cope with her fear. Hours later, a doctor appeared with news. Marcus had suffered a severe heart attack and fallen into a coma. There was no telling when or if he would wake up. Emma learned that Marcus was a widower with no close relatives in the city. The hospital's social worker suggested placing Lily in temporary foster care, but the thought of leaving Lily alone in an unfamiliar environment was unbearable to Emma. In the end, Emma made a decision. "I'll take care of Lily," she told the social worker after a long pause. Memories of her past struggles flashed in her mind, the betrayal, the pain, the sleepless nights. But then she looked at Lily, standing there with tear-grilled eyes, and realized that this child needed her more than anything. Despite the lingering scars of her past, Emma knew she couldn't turn her back on Lily. Emma brought Lily to her small apartment in the suburbs. The apartment had just one bedroom and a tiny office, but Emma quickly transformed the office into a temporary room for Lily. While it wasn't as luxurious as Marcus's house, it offered warmth and safety. The first few nights were challenging. Lily often woke up from nightmares, calling for her father with tears streaming down her face. Emma would sit beside her, comforting her with stories and talking about their favorite books. Gradually, Lily would calm down and drift back to sleep. During the day, Emma tried to maintain a normal routine for Lily. She took her to school, helped with her homework, and cooked her favorite meals. On weekends, they painted and played games together, creating joyful moments that helped Lily forget her fears and grief. Over time, Lily began to trust Emma. One day, after visiting Marcus at the hospital, Lily held Emma's hand and said, "Thank you for taking care of me, Aunt Emma. I like you very much." Her innocent words melted Emma's heart. However, it wasn't always easy. Emma struggled with conflicting emotions. She still harbored resentment toward Marcus for the pain he had caused her, but she couldn't help feeling compassion for him and genuine love for Lily. Though her friends couldn't understand why Emma devoted so much time to the daughter of a man who had wronged her, Emma knew she couldn't abandon Lily. As the days passed, the bond between them grew stronger and deeper. 2 months later, Emma's phone buzzed. It was a call from the hospital. Marcus had woken up from his coma. She quickly informed Lily and brought her to the hospital. When Lily entered the hospital room, she immediately ran to her father's side. "Dad!" Lily cried out, tears streaming down her face. Marcus, though frail and thin, managed a weak smile and embraced his daughter tightly. Emma stood outside the door, giving them space for their reunion. A few hours later, a nurse came to find Emma. "Mr. Marcus wants to see you," she said. With her heart racing, Emma entered the hospital room. Marcus was sitting up in bed, his eyes filled with regret and gratitude. "Emma," he said, his voice hoarse from disuse, "I don't know how to thank you." Emma remained silent, unsure of how to respond. Marcus continued, "The nurse told me everything you did for Lily. You cared for her, gave her a home, and devoted your time to her. I don't deserve your kindness." With tears in his eyes, Marcus did something Emma never expected. He apologized. He admitted the mistakes of his past, the way he had treated her unfairly, and how his arrogance had caused her so much pain. To make amends, Marcus picked up a checkbook from the bedside table. "Name an amount," he said. "It's the least I can do to repay you." Emma glanced at the checkbook, then at Marcus. Memories of sleepless nights worrying about bills and losing her mother flashed through her mind. But after a moment, she turned to look at Lily, peacefully asleep on the chair beside her father. "No, Marcus," she said firmly, "I don't want your money. I did all this for Lily, not for you or any reward." Marcus was stunned, clearly not expecting this response. "But there must be something I can do," he insisted. Emma looked him straight in the eye. "There is one thing," she said. "Be a better father to Lily. She's an amazing child and deserves all your love and attention." Emma's words hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. For the first time in his life, he felt completely disarmed by the truth. While still in the hospital, Marcus had plenty of time to reflect. At first, he tried to push the thoughts away, but Emma's words echoed relentlessly in his mind, forcing him to confront truths he had long ignored. He remembered how he treated people around him, using power and money to control everything, and how his arrogance and lack of empathy had caused so much pain, especially to Emma. For the first time in years, Marcus felt something unfamiliar: regret. Once discharged, Marcus began his journey of transformation. He spent more time with Lily, listening to her thoughts and joining her in activities she loved. One day, Marcus noticed Lily drawing and realized she had a natural talent for art. From that moment, he often sat down with her to draw, creating moments of joy and connection. Beyond his relationship with Lily, Marcus also made changes in how he managed his company and treated his employees. He implemented fairer policies, listened to their concerns, and treated them with respect. Those who once feared his power began to see a different Marcus, one who valued empathy and recognized the worth of others. With Emma, Marcus didn't try to express his gratitude through expensive gifts or material favors. Instead, he showed it through small but genuine gestures. He invited Emma to join father-daughter outings and always sought her input on Lily's education. Marcus treated Emma with sincere respect, no longer relying on his authority to dominate interactions. At first, Emma remained cautious, unsure if Marcus's changes were genuine. But over time, she began to see that his efforts were sincere. She started to see a different man, not the arrogant Marcus of the past, but a devoted father, and a person striving to right his wrongs. Months later, the lives of Marcus, Lily, and Emma had settled into a comfortable rhythm. They had become an unconventional family, bonded by their trials and their shared values of love and forgiveness. Marcus became involved in every aspect of Lily's life. He took her to art classes, attended her school performances, and often sat with her to draw or read. Lily had transformed into a happy, confident, and vibrant young girl. The three often had dinner together at Emma's apartment, talking about their days. Emma, who had grown used to solitude, now felt the warmth of family. She even smiled when Lily suggested adopting a puppy, and soon, Emma's small apartment was filled with laughter and the pitter-patter of tiny paws. One autumn afternoon, after dropping Lily off at her art class, Marcus and Emma stopped at a nearby park. They sat on a bench, watching golden leaves fall around them. Marcus suddenly spoke. "Emma, I know I don't deserve it, but do you think you could forgive me?" Emma looked into Marcus's eyes. They no longer held the arrogance of his past, but instead showed genuine remorse. After a moment of silence, she replied, "Marcus, I think I've already forgiven you. Holding on to resentment only hurt me. Forgiveness set me free." Marcus was overwhelmed with emotion. To him, her forgiveness was not just a relief, but a chance to start anew. On the one-year anniversary of Marcus's heart attack, the three of them sat on Emma's porch, watching the sunset. Lily played with her puppy while Marcus and Emma talked softly. "I never thought my life could change this much," Marcus said, smiling warmly. "And it's all thanks to you, Emma." Emma smiled back. "No, Marcus, you chose to change. I just helped you see that it was possible." They sat there in the glow of twilight, unsure of what the future would hold, but confident they could face anything together. Their journey was a testament to the power of forgiveness, love, and the ability to change for the better. A year and a half after the fateful day of Marcus's heart attack, his life with Emma and Lily had become closer than ever. Marcus was not only a devoted father, but also a steadfast companion to Emma. Together, the three had formed a true family, even if it wasn't official. One spring afternoon, as the three of them played in the park with their little dog, Marcus suddenly paused and said, "Emma, there's something I want to ask you." Emma looked at him, slightly surprised by the seriousness in his tone. Marcus reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box, and opened it to reveal a simple yet elegant ring. "Emma, you saved my life, brought joy to Lily, and completely changed my world. I can't imagine my life without you." He paused, his voice trembling slightly. "I've never felt this certain about anything in my life. Will you marry me?" Emma was overcome with emotion. Memories of the pain and struggles from the past flashed through her mind, but as she looked into Marcus's earnest eyes and thought of Lily, the child she loved as her own, she knew her answer. "Yes, Marcus, I will," she said, smiling through tears. Lily jumped up with excitement, hugging them both. As the ceremony concluded, Lily stepped forward with a hand-drawn card she had made. "This is for you," she said, holding it out to Emma and Marcus. The card read, "Thank you for being my family." Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she hugged Lily tightly. "I love you, sweetheart," Emma whispered. Marcus knelt beside them, wrapping both in his arms. "And I love you both," he said, his voice filled with emotion. The wedding was simple yet heartfelt, attended by close friends, family, and even some of Marcus's former colleagues who had witnessed his incredible transformation. During his vows, Marcus turned to Emma, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "Emma, you didn't just save my life. You gave me a second chance to be the man I was meant to be. Before I met you, I thought power and success were everything, but you showed me the true value of kindness, forgiveness, and love. You taught me how to be a better father, a better friend, and a better person. Today, I promise to honor the trust you placed in me, and to spend every day proving that your faith in me was not misplaced." The crowd fell silent, their hearts moved by his words. Emma, dressed in an elegant white gown, glowed as she stood beside Marcus, while Lily beamed with joy as their flower girl. After the ceremony, the three returned to the house they had decided to build together. It was not just a place to live, but a symbol of the love, forgiveness, and second chances life had given them. As the sun set, Marcus held Emma's hand, smiling as they watched Lily play nearby. "Thank you, Emma, for giving me not just a new life, but a family." Emma smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Thank you, Marcus, for choosing to change and for letting me be part of this journey." They sat together, basking in the peace of the present. Lily ran toward them, holding her puppy and laughing, her joy lighting up the evening sky. Marcus looked at Emma and whispered, "This is just the beginning. Together, we'll build a life full of love and memories." Emma smiled, her heart full of hope. They didn't know exactly what the future would hold, but they knew they would face it hand in hand as a family ready to embrace every moment together.